Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the tour of the new WBEC South. If you've been tuning in this week, you have learned a little bit about what's been going on with WBEC South. We've built an incredible pipeline for women entrepreneurs. And today we are going to take you to our Women's Business Center South that is brand new out of Memphis. But before we do that, I wanted to go over a little bit about what we did yesterday. So we hosted a town hall. And then yesterday we took you to New Orleans as well as Nashville to our WB Collective. You got to see Catherine Garcia do a virtual tour of our beautiful facility in New Orleans, and Katie Collins take you through our 20-foot vaulted ceilings and rooftop co-working space out in Nashville, Tennessee. Make sure you join us for our free Fridays so that you can take advantage of a free ticket to join our beautifully designed co-working places. If you are just tuning in this week, you've been able to see a little bit more information about how WBEC South had to reimagine who we were as a business organization. We've been able to launch, again, 2 co-working places, as well as Enterprise and Women of Color, which you'll hear from tomorrow, and also the Women's Business Center, which you are going to hear from today. Just so we talk a little bit more about our WB Collective is that we have everything from day passes as much as $25 all the way up to desks and hot desks. So if you're looking for a more committed office and a reserved space, you can rent those, as well as just using hot desk passes where you can pop in and out as needed. What's great is if you're a member of WB Collective in New Orleans, you can also participate as well in Nashville. And also yesterday, if you tuned in, you were able to hear that we named our beautiful event space in New Orleans the Catalyst. And so big kudos to Kelly Cagle, who was able to help us in assisting in naming our event space. Again, that is available for rent. It has a beautiful kitchenette, which you can see on your screen right now, as well as offices and a huge screen for any events. So, all right, without further ado, I would love to go ahead and bring on our panel and introduce Marini, who will be facilitating and introducing you to our incredible panelists today. All right, so I'll go ahead and pass it off to you, Marini.
Good morning. Thanks, Summer. I'm Marini Demoriak. I'm the WBE Programs and Services Director. And this morning, I'm joined by Venetia Mitchell, LaTanya Chanel, and Corinne Hodges. So thank you guys for joining me. Ladies, if you will just take a brief moment and introduce yourself and tell us what your role is and what brought you to that role. Let's start with Venetia.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you for that intro, Marini. I'm so glad to be here with all of you today. Again, my name is Venetia Mitchell, and I am the Executive Director of the new Women's Business Center South. And I have had about 15 years of experience in the economic development business support world, and I really enjoy working with women entrepreneurs. So I'm so excited to be here with you all. I'm so excited to tell you more about what the center offers, how it is a great addition to WBEC South, and excited to connect with each of you.
LaTanya, will you tell us about yourself next? Oh, hold on 1 minute, LaTanya. Your sound is, I'm not hearing your sound. Okay, go ahead.
Am I unmuted now? I think
You're
it was
good
my
now.
fault. Perfect. Hi, everyone. I'm LaTanya. I am your state director for the state of Tennessee for the U.S. Small Business Administration. If you don't already know, SBA has an office in Tennessee, and while we're based out of Nashville with one person located in Memphis, we cover the entire state. And as you can see, I'm working from my home office, and we have been working virtually since last year. We still are for a little bit of time. But we're here available to provide assistance to you, whether it's lending, whether it's government contracting and certification, which you already know through WBEC, since they've done SBA certification for years for women-owned small business, and also counseling. So I'm excited to be here today to talk a little bit about the new WBC we have on board in Tennessee.
Thank you. And that leaves us with you, Corinne. So go ahead and introduce yourself.
Hi, everyone. My name is Corinne Hodges. I'm the CEO of the Association of Women's Business Centers. We're so excited that SBA was able to expand the Women's Business Center network. So, thank you so much. And we are now celebrating this new center today, and we've got 135 women's business centers total. The Association of Women's Business Center represents that whole network. And we do our work by advocating for women's business centers, advocating to expand their capacity, their reach, and really endeavoring to serve more clients. And by that, we are really reaching marginalized communities. And so we'll talk a little bit more about that later. It's just great to be here with you all. And I really need to connect on some of the art I saw, Latanya, in your background. So I've got some blank walls I need to work on here.
Thank you so much.
Mine is still waiting to be hung on the wall.
Let's start. My first questions are for Latanya, just about why this program with the Women's Business Centers exists, the importance of the program. Can you speak on that for a moment about the importance of this program and why it was created in the first place?
Absolutely. So Congress essentially created the mechanism whereby SBA can have women's business centers around the country. And I think it's so important that this was carved out to ensure that our women entrepreneurs got the services that they needed. As many of you may know, we do have only one existing women's business center here in Tennessee. And one of the things that the first director who was hired there said was, we created this space just to be open and welcoming to women. We know how women entrepreneurs are. We think about everything, not just our business. We manage everything, not just our business, our family, our lives, the lives of others. So creating and carving out those centers is to provide a place and an opportunity for women to get that attention that they need to get those services, not just from SBA, but also from the local community. So having a new center in Memphis is so exciting. If you didn't already know that the fastest growing number of new business owners in the state of Tennessee for at least the last 5 years have been women entrepreneurs. So this is so critical and the need is already existing. So having the center located in Memphis to reach the rest of our entrepreneurs is so key and so critical. And I'm really, really excited.
Thanks, Latanya. Yeah, no, that is, it is so critical. And because you mentioned the Women's Business Center located in Memphis, my next question will be for Venetia, because we're so excited to have the Women's Business Center located in Memphis and having her as the executive director of that center. So Venetia, can you speak about just what your vision is for this Women's Business Center and what it means for the Memphis area?
Absolutely, Maranie. So, like Latanya said, women business enterprises are the fastest growing segment of businesses really in the country. There's almost 2,000 women-owned businesses that open daily. And so there's something so special and unique about a place that caters to women, I do believe. I think that, there are some great resources in Memphis. We have a very strong ecosystem as far as supporting startups, as far as supporting businesses that are on a growth trajectory, businesses that are looking to pivot coming out of COVID. So I think that seeing the growth that's happening in Memphis really sort of has mandated that type of support is available in the city, but there isn't anything that caters specifically to women. And we've talked about the specific needs of women. Oftentimes they are the primary caregiver for children in their household. They're juggling a lot of things, wearing a lot of different hats, and their business is important to them, but they have other areas of their lives that are important to them as well. And so I think having a space that is just for women so that they feel heard, seen. They're not necessarily fighting to go to the top of the heap, but they start at the top of the heap. I think that's a special privilege that we have with doing the Women's Business Center South here in Memphis. I also think there is an amazing opportunity for some business-to-business opportunities amongst the women businesses that actually participate in the programming of the center. They'll have an opportunity to really work with one another and create their own special network there, create opportunities to really expand and grow their businesses. And I think there is also an incredible incredible appetite right now in Memphis for things that are new and fresh and different. There's also an incredible appetite to see those who have really been putting in the work see an opportunity to shine and grow. I think more than ever before, there's sort of the idea that anyone should be able to succeed. So, that is inclusive of women business owners. So I'm so excited to just be a part of this work. I've had the privilege of working with so many small business owners in Memphis already, and they're so excited about this center. I know that there are so many professionals that are queued up, ready to help them grow. We have CPAs, people who work with HR, technology, just so many things, event planners, and people who really want to make sure that they're leaving their mark on Memphis and beyond. And so I am excited for the center to be able to really serve as a safe space for that, also a place for growth and nurturing, a place for problem solving, a place for connecting. And of course, today is We Coach. So there'll be plenty of coaching happening. I know, Maranie, that is, your kind of core competency. And so I'm so excited about making sure that women get what they need as it pertains to their business, which is really the objective of the Women's Business Center South. And so excited the SBA is supporting us on this, that we have all the power and backing of WBEC South. I really think that it's going to be an amazing addition to the Memphis ecosystem and beyond, because the pandemic has taught us, we can do a lot virtually. Case in point, this Zoom right now. So I'm really excited about it.
Thank you, Venetia. I really like what you said about, both addressing the obstacles that women business owners face, but also the huge opportunity that exists if we can leverage resources successfully and share information. And I'm really looking forward to you working in this role as the executive director. I just love your energy. So thank you so much for sharing. And with that, I do want to ask Corinne some questions. Corinne, can you speak specifically about your organization and how it's an additional resource that's available and how your organization benefits the clients of these centers?
My pleasure. And I loved also listening to Venetia, and I'm so excited about the energy that's starting this new Women's Business Center. We at the Association of Women's Business Centers work each and every day alongside women's business centers. We're igniting opportunities for women who want to start and grow their businesses. We support these women's business centers. We support the directors, the executive directors like Venetia, to really help them share best practices, understand what are the emerging trends and data, network with each other, and really help them provide or locate and take advantage of additional funding opportunities. So examples of that have occurred is in the CARES Act bill. AWBC was instrumental in getting some specific funding for women's business centers to be able to address this surge in demand that we saw during the COVID pandemic. We were also instrumental in getting additional funding into the program that made the expansion of these 20 new centers possible. And so we really are proud of the work that we've done. We've seen just this explosion in growth across the Women's Business Center network. And of course, we have to give all of the credit to SBA and their network, the district directors, the program managers, the folks like LaTanya on the ground who are working every day, providing the technical assistance and guidance to the women's business centers. We're sort of behind those women on the ground, making sure that we're addressing any gaps that are out there. We're providing things like compliance training and additional resources at a leadership conference every year. We at the association don't interact directly in general with clients. We're sort of behind the scenes, helping women's business centers do what they can do to be better. And since I joined the organization in January of 2019, we have just taken off, and women's business centers are just unstoppable, increasing the number of clients they've served by 30% in 2020 compared to 2019, leveraging $362 million in capital, which more than doubled capital accessed in 2019. So we are sort of the the magic behind the magic. We're behind the scenes making sure that women's business centers can do more and really impact more women in more meaningful ways than ever.
I love that. Thank you for clarifying. Okay, Venetia, for women business owners that are watching right now, how can people best engage if they're interested in getting services from the Women's Business Center? What would you say is the best way for women business owners to engage in some of these services that are available?
Absolutely. So definitely the WBEC South website is a driver to all of our programming. So if you connect there, you can actually plug into anything that WBEC South has to offer. And then for services that are specifically offered by the Women's Business Center South, you can go to wbcsouth.org, and there's a form that you can complete there that will allow you to sort of go into a queue for a response for service. And you can also highlight some needs that you have, so say you're a business that's in a particular industry, construction, or you sell a product or whatever, it may be. You can give us some detail there, and we can kind of do sort of a triage and assess some of the best ways to be able to take you to the appropriate support beyond there. And again, just for everybody watching, the services of the Women's Business Center South, definitely we're going to do a lot of in-person once the center opens, but it's available beyond, thanks to this virtual world that we live in. And there's so many partners that we have and resources that we can connect you to. So I would definitely start by going to those websites. I don't think we'd be opposed even if you drop something in the chat saying that you'd want some support. I think somebody would be definitely willing to follow up there as well. So those are two quick ways, though, the WBEC South website and the wbcsouth.org, the form that you can complete there.
Great, yeah, great. Thank you for giving people those directions. And please, yes, drop something in the chat. We'll connect with you and make sure that you're connected with the right person if you're seeking out services from the Women's Business Center or from WBEC South in general. Please chat. Speaking of the chat, I think I want to open it up for questions, just to see if we have any questions at this point. Summer, are you? Okay, we'll hold for a minute for questions. Okay, Summer, are you there? Can you pull up the chat to see if there's a way to see if we have any questions?
Yeah, can you hear me?
I can hear you, yes.
All right, so that was one of the biggest questions, and Venetia, you kind of touched on it, and I would love to hear LaTanya as well as from any of the panelists, but the biggest question is, we cover a 5-state territory where we provide certification and services. This is opening up in Memphis, but the big question is do you have to be in Memphis in order to take advantage of this service? So I think probably Venetia would be the best, but would love to hear about what are the resources from the other networks.
I think Summer was asking LaTanya, but don't want me to elaborate?
Go ahead, Venetia.
Yeah.
So again, just reiterating, you guys, this is a virtual world now, thank goodness. So you are not prohibited by geography. We would definitely love to see your face and your presence in the center in Memphis. But that does not prohibit, if you're not in Memphis, it doesn't prohibit you from taking advantage of the different services. Again, the Women's Business Enterprise Council South has resources for 5 states and then also partners beyond. So no matter where you are, I think you can access support. Our target areas are, of course, the 5 states, Tennessee, Mississippi, Louisiana, Alabama, the Florida Panhandle. But we definitely want to be able to support you all wherever you are. And so again, our target areas are, of course, if you're in Memphis, you can definitely come to the center in Memphis and receive support there. But we are definitely willing, ready, and able to engage virtually.
Thanks, Venetia.
May I
anyone?
add
I was going to say,
I would like
yes,
to
go
add,
ahead, Nat.
And this is not to get in front of Venetia, because certainly the resources that I'm about to share with you will suggest her center and the entire network there as a place to receive services. But I just do want to mention, in addition, 2 places to go about getting some help. really capturing our entire SBA resource partner community, veterans business outreach centers, women's business centers, small business development centers, and SCORE mentors. I mean, can you really have too much help? Like, probably not. It's okay to reach out to the Women's Business Center and another resource partner because, again, you can't ever have too much help. To do so, a great place to check into is covid-sb.org. And I can throw that into the chat, but that is an SBA funded project that's providing resources for small businesses impacted by COVID. And we're all impacted by COVID, so I think we could all benefit from those resources. And then beyond that, if you found yourself relocating out of the Memphis area and out of the WBEC service area, maybe you're moving to Northern California, let's say, you can just search for a women's business center at our website too, at awbc/WBC/WBC-locator. So we can put that in the chat for you as well, but lots of resources out there for help.
Great. Yeah. Can you please make sure that that makes its way into the chat for folks? That would be amazing. Thank you. All right. Any other? I think that's it for our questions for now. Shall we go ahead and? Oh, what were you going to say?
I saw a couple of questions in the chat, and also just to Corinne's point really quick, I think it's beautiful that she highlighted the other supports in the ecosystems, because I often hear from small business owners that they didn't know so many of these things existed. And so I think that's part of one of the missions of WBEC South, that we're on this whole We Connect, we have collectives, and so much of that is making sure that women business owners know what is available to them in the ecosystem, even beyond the center or our supports. And so I think that's a huge way that the Women's Business Center South and WBEC South will work together. WBEC South offers certification, and there are the collectives, which are actual spaces that you can go into and co-work. And you can have meetings, you can have events. And so I think there's so many things at your fingertips when you plug into any of these resources. I know that was a question in the chat, is how those entities work together. And then if you are certified, do you still need to connect with the center? And I would say definitely, never limit yourself as far as the resources that are available to you. Corinne named so many resources, so many of which actually are available to you at no cost, or they're paid for via tax dollars, or there are individuals and experts there that really the help that they would have to offer is invaluable. It's so priceless and worth the investment of your time. So I just, again, encourage people to reach out and engage. If you know a business owner that could benefit from this, I think at any stage in the business life cycle, if they're starting, if they're growing, if they're trying to turn around, whatever the case may be, I think it's definitely beneficial to connect and plug in. And if we cannot provide something for you directly, we will definitely make sure that we connect you to someone who can.
Thank you, Venetia. Yeah, that's an excellent point. Just connect, engage. We will answer questions and get you in touch with, the people that can help you the most. The ladies, the last thing that I'll say is if you have an opportunity, if you haven't yet, please type your, contact information into the chat as well. If people have, if people have questions for you directly, then they can reach out as well. And with that, I think we will just kick it over to Katie to check in really quick. Thank you so much, ladies, for participating and answering all of our questions this morning. And I really look forward to continuing the conversation with you guys.
Thank you, Mary.
Thank you.
Hi, everyone. This is Katie Collins coming to you live from Nashville. Very excited about the Women's Business Center South. That is, just down the street, down 40 on the other side of Tennessee. So I know Venetia and I have chatted. We can't wait to, now that we're neighbors. Again, I'm the Marketing and Communications Manager. And if you've heard from me this week, appreciate you tuning in. We're definitely trying to figure out ways to communicate with you better. We want to hear from you. Hear your stories. So if you've seen a newsletter come across your desk that has been from me, we want to hear more about our WBEs and what's going on in this crazy expanding network. We're so excited to see the growth and the trajectory of where we're headed. So please share your stories with us. marketing@webecsouth.org. We would love to highlight you. One of the ways we do highlight different WBEs and all of our corporate partners and stakeholders is through our annual publication of We South. It is our magazine, and it's coming to you summer of 2021. It's printing now, so be on the lookout. We are going to announce that, and there will be a digital version too, because we are in a digital age. So thank you to all of our contributing partners and people that supplied content for it. We're very excited to share that with the network. Another thing, if you've been tuning in this week and continuing to see our growth, we have grown on social media. Our channels have expanded. Every single program that you have heard about and that you are going to hear about, we have new channels, whether that's on Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter, WBEC South, WB Collective, Enterprising Women of Color, Women's Business Center South, we just heard from. There are all their new channels, and I'm sure more on the horizon. And then, of course, WB Marketplace, #Meet Her in the Marketplace, if you've attended some of those events. So please, if you are not following these channels, or you see a new program that you have not, like Women's Business Center South, go give us a follow, give us a like. We are a growing community in some of these areas, and we are excited to have new people on board. The social media is where we're going to continue to do more of these live videos. We want to keep our conversations current. And if you are liking our channels and you've joined in and liked a new channel, you will be entered to win a brand new Apple Watch. We are going to announce that tomorrow during our final day 4 of Beyond Certification, the Enterprising Women of Color program. So please tune in to that tomorrow at 10:30. There are incredible panels. The first panel is going to be talking about the program with the program director and a couple other participants. And then the second panel is an amazing corporate panel. And again, they're going to talk about just the incredible growth that WBEC South has continued to thrive now in 2021. You just saw there where you can watch us live on Facebook and YouTube. And my final message for the day, we would not be where we're at or doing anything that we're doing without the help of our Champion Circle sponsors. And with that, we would just like to thank them for their continual support. And I'm going to send you off with a video. And again, thanks for tuning in. We appreciate it.